Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. It's the 21st of October 2025 and you're joining us as we go live today here from the UK to this wonderful international community of fellow creatives around the world who love stained glass. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome on board. We stream every Tuesday 8:30 UK time. And let me just switch my phone off because it's buzzing away like mad. To this wonderful international community where I answer your questions in real time. I'm here to help you as much as I can. I'm basically a glass artist who has been working in stained glass for the last 40 years, designing and making new stained glass windows for churches and public buildings and homes, etc. And doing conservation work. I'm what's called an accredited conservator. So I do a lot of conservation work for historic buildings, and we've just recently put in a conserved and restored and repaired stained glass window by Morris & Co. That's William Morris. If you know of British stained glass made 100 odd years ago now, William Morris & Co. made these amazing stained glass windows. And one was damaged, so we conserved it. And I've got a little film to show you today of the reinstallation of that stained glass window, because I try and theme what I'm doing each week for you around a particular topic or a particular lesson. It might be glass painting one week, or it might be stained glass designing another week, or it might be painting. So I try and do little demonstrations where I can, and also show you little films. Sometimes I do interviews. Sometimes we have interviews of fellow glass artists who come on. One of the channel favorites is Petri Anderson, who has been on several times and joins us often in the chat. He won't be joining us this weekend because he has some family, important family business to take care of. But I wish him well, and I send him love and send love to his family at this difficult time. But Petri will hopefully be joining us again. Charlotte is also here regularly. Charlotte Saville, who is one of the glass artist who really makes me smile. She has got such a brilliant sense of humor. I don't know if she's on today or tonight. I'm just seeing everybody joining the chat. I'm going to say hello to you in a minute. But Charlotte really made me laugh a couple of days ago, because basically I put out a video of me cutting a glass star. I put out a couple of them. They're just for fun, really. I'm not really expecting people to try and cut glass stars, because they're not very practical. They do break very easily. It's really just to show you, if you ever had to cut kind of complicated shapes, how you could possibly do it by tapping the glass. So I put one out on clear glass ages ago, and it got lots of traction. A lot of people commented on it. A lot of people commented on it. It said, you can't cut glass like that. It doesn't like to be cut like that. I know, you're right. It doesn't like to be cut like that. But it was just a piece of fun, and it was just to show you the possibilities of cutting intricate and difficult shapes out of glass. To some extent, you can do it, but it's quite challenging. And the questions were coming back. Well, it's very easy to do it, cutting glass, clear glass, clear float glass. Why don't you cut textured glass? So I put a video out on cutting textured glass, and it was, again, a little bit of fun. And Charlotte, bless her, Charlotte Saville, who is Lead and Light Stained Glass over on Instagram and on Facebook. And one of my students on the Make It at Market show, the BBC One show, ran with it, and she decided to make a couple of really funny reels of her trying to cut the glass, and of course it breaking, and her throwing her glass cutter down. I was thinking of trying to show it live on the stream tonight, but I can't really hook up. I don't know how, I'm not technically savvy enough to be able to hook it up, but go and have a look at Charlotte's Instagram page, Lead and Light. She makes these wonderful figures, these swimming figures in beautiful swimming costumes, etc. And she made a couple of great videos, and then it was taken up by Queer Whimsy, Tom or Queer Whimsy, who has also ran with it. Sorry, Tom, for messing up your name there. Who also ran with it and did a couple of really brilliant videos on cutting glass, of course, breaking the glass. Both of them can cut stars perfectly well. I know they can, but we're just doing it for a bit of fun. And it's just, if you are on chat today, or if you're following me on YouTube, why don't you join the challenge? It's called the Star Challenge, where you cut a piece of glass in a star shape and you post it on social media. It's great fun, and it's just a bit of a laugh for everybody. So I'm going to say hello to a few people today. Hugo is online. Can't wait, says Hugo. Hello, Hugo. Hopefully you're joining us again at the moment. Thunderwood Underwood. Hello, Thunderwood Underwood. Welcome to the live stream today. EFO, Ethel from Scotland. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ethel. Wonderful that you're with us. Are you up for the Star Challenge? We have talked about this on Instagram. It would be great if you could do the Star Challenge as well. It's just a bit of fun. Join in. It's good. It's a good laugh. Skip is with us. Hello, everyone. Skip Vasquez. Hello, Skip, a channel member, along with Ethel, also a channel member. And Paul is joining us. Hello from West Hampton, New York, USA. Hello, Paul. Fantastic that you're with us today. Welcome on board. Yehudith is also here. Good evening, Yehudith. I know you're 3 hours ahead of us. Welcome on board. It's great to see you. Hope you're ready for your flight over. You're joining me this weekend for our enamel masterclass. You and your friend are coming. There'll be 4 of us. We have another student from Belgium and another student from the UK coming, and can't wait to share time with you and spend time with you here in the studio, learning about the wonderful world of enamel painting on glass. So Yehudith, welcome. Jerry Z, hello everyone. I'm sitting on my freshly sanded floor in my studio. Fantastic, Jerry. Are you going to varnish it? What are you going to do with that sanded floor? Are you painting it? Are you just leaving it as sanded wood? What are you doing with it? Let us know. We're all curious in chat. Karen Devan says, hello, Derek from Paris. Karen, hello, and welcome. It's great that you're with us today, a channel member, as is Jerry, as is Julie Gritton, another channel member. Good evening, all. Good evening, Julie. Fantastic that you're with us. I love the fact that we've got regular creatives coming on board on the live stream and joining in. This is all for you guys. We're talking in live time around the world to fellow creatives who love stained glass, and it's just brilliant that you're all on board. And David Jack Fenton, hi Derek. I love the new star cutting competition doing the rounds online. David, I do too. That was down to Charlotte just picking it up and running with it for a bit of fun. And Tom from Queer Whimsy has also run with it. So come on guys, jump on board the Star Challenge and post your glass cutting attempts. It's difficult, but it's fun, and you know, getting it wrong is better than getting it right. It's much more entertaining for all of us. David, welcome on board. It is fantastic you're joining us today. The Idiot, good evening folks. Hi, the Idiot. Welcome. It's great that you're with us today. Ride Forth Singing, another channel member. Hi all. Hi Ride Forth Singing. It is fantastic again that you are with us to join us on this live stream today. How are you, Egypt? Says Thunderwood Underwood. Susanna FB, hello all. Happy to be here today. Susanna, hello and welcome. It is great that you're here. I'm good, Thunderwood Underwood says the Egypt. And how about yourself? All good, thanks. This is wonderful. I love it when you guys start chatting amongst yourselves. It is brilliant. This is about a creative community where we all meet one another online and we talk and we share our love for stained glass to help one another. This is about complete positivity and a positive mental attitude and a positive attitude towards learning and supporting one another. We don't gatekeep here either. We don't keep trade secrets. I am here to try and help you as much as I can with what I've learned over the course of my time making stained glass windows, designing stained glass windows, conserving them, and teaching as well. So I don't know everything. Not by any means do I know everything. And the way I do something and the way that I recommend something gets done is just the way that works for me. It might not work for you, or you might be taught in a different way how to do things, and that's absolutely fine. I'm really cool with lots of different ways to try and get to an end result. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's definitely more than one way to do stained glass. So yeah, what I teach is just my method, but I love to learn from you, and I do learn from you guys as well. I learn new methods all the time. I'm forever a student And having that mindset, and I'm sure you guys have the same mindset, being forever a student is the most important thing. Always learning, always curious. Mel Pope says, hi Derek, first time I've made it live. I catch up with replays while I'm back at the bench. Mel, fantastic that you are here today. Welcome on board. It's great to have you here. Hopefully you'll be a regular when you get the chance. Pop any questions into the chat, guys, if you have any questions for today. The theme of today's live stream is glazing stained glass into stonework, specifically using lime mortars. Now, this is very niche. I mean, stained glass is very niche anyway, but it's even more niche because not everybody makes stained glass windows that go into buildings. A lot of you will be making copper foil work for lamps, or making light catchers, or gifts for friends and family, small scale pieces that can be hung in front of a window or can be displayed on a light table. They might not necessarily be going into a building, even less likely going into a church perhaps, and going into stonework. So I understand that this is quite a niche little topic tonight, but I like to cover lots of different topics, and it's what I can rustle together for the live stream. So I put a video together today. I basically filmed an installation of a William Morris window earlier on last week, and just put a little video together showing you how I mix my lime mortar together, the consistency I have, and how I prepare the window, how I glaze the window with my colleague John Greenaway, who has been helping me for the past 20 odd years up and down the country, fitting our windows, taking our windows out. He's a very talented historic metal worker, and he makes historic metalwork and guards and windows, etc., for conservation projects and public buildings. Very talented chap, and he helped me with that particular installation. So I filmed it, and we'll show it a little bit later, and I'll tee it up with a few remarks about hydraulic limes and hydrated limes and what the difference is. I keep forgetting, and I've got my notes beside me because it's limes and lime mortars and lime putties. It's a complicated old subject, and it's a historic subject, and it does go hand in hand with stained glass windows in churches and public buildings. So we'll play that video a little bit later on, but that's the theme of today's topic. So ask any questions you may have about fitting stained glass windows into stonework. Larissa Mada says, hi, yay, I'm studying historic preservation in the USA. I've just started learning stained glass earlier this year. Larissa, welcome, studying historic preservation in the US. That's wonderful. Are you doing stained glass? I've just started stained glass earlier this year, learning stained glass. This is brilliant. Larissa, welcome to this stained glass community, this international stained glass community of fellow creatives. We're all here to learn, and it may be that you have a little nugget of information and a little lesson to pass on to the rest of us today. Put your questions in chat. Anybody who has a question. Tegan Lee, hello Tegan. Welcome. And Karen Devan, a channel member, says we'll try the Star Challenge this week. That is great, Karen. I'm really glad you're doing it. It's just a bit of fun, but you know, it's gathering momentum as more people post. So what happens is when you post online and you tag me in your post, I will repost it. And I'll put it on my stories, and I'll really kind of like shout it from the rooftops, because I'm really keen to promote all of us having fun with our stained glass and having fun cutting glass. It's not all doom and gloom. You can actually have a lot of fun in the process as well, and make each other laugh. And honestly, some of the shorts this week have been so funny. They've really made me laugh out loud. They were fantastic. So come on guys, join in the Star Challenge. EFO Ethel says, I'm going to try, but straight lines are a challenge for me. Straight lines, yeah, they're not all straight, as you know. There's little curves in there as well. The secret is to put a bend in the curve. You know, when you're cutting the glass, don't try and cut it at an angle, because the glass will just fracture. And tap really gently underneath the score line. Just gently tap and nurse that score line until you see the fracture running all the way around the 5-pointed star. It can be done. Believe me, it can be done. So I'd love to see your efforts. posted on social media. Ruby Slippers 1983. Hi Derek, Tom here from Queer Whimsy Infamy. Tom, it is wonderful that you're here. We're just talking about you, and you made me laugh. Your posts on Instagram are absolutely brilliant. Keep going, Tom. Keep going. Ruby Slippers 1983. I do love the name here on YouTube as well, Tom. It's brilliant. I love your work, by the way. I love what you're promoting. I love your pieces. Yeah, it's great to see you kind of putting your own spin on things, your own personality, which is what it's all about. When we are creating art, it's all about having a voice, having a unique voice. And Tom, you have a great unique voice on Queer Whimsy. So everybody have a look on social media, especially on Instagram, for Tom's page. And he's doing the Star Challenge at the moment. Tegan Lee says, I'll try the challenge, but whether or not I post it online is going to depend on how it goes. It's better if it doesn't go well, Tegan. It's absolutely brilliant if it doesn't go well. Don't worry. It's not about getting it right. It's more about having fun doing it, you know, and putting it out live and doing it multiple times, as Tom has done and as Charlotte has done. And it's just like this running joke that we have, which is fantastic. So join in, Tegan, whether it works or whether it doesn't work. It's just great to take part. Jerry Z says, crystal clear Verithum, no staining. In 30 days, the closest. Oh yeah, so this is, Jerry, this is the floor, the sanding on the floor, no staining. So I don't know, Jerry, what crystal clear Verithane is, but I'm presuming it's some kind of product. In 30 days, the closet will be built and I can move in. That is brilliant, Jerry. So you're in the process of getting your studio together. You've sanded the floor. You're making the closet. It'll be built and you can move in. That is brilliant, Jerry. Do let us know how you're getting on. It is fantastically exciting, isn't it? When you're putting a studio together, when you're building a studio or renovating it or repositioning everything, it's really nice to try and create space. The thing is that you always end up using the space that you have. Even if you think, oh, I've got enough space to expand, you expand into that space. Before you know it, you're thinking, where can I put extra shelving and where can I put extra storage? I know what it's like. I'm in the same position. EFO Ethel says Tom, and she's laugh out loud, or he's laughing out loud. Tegan says, I came second in a timed circle cutting competition a few months ago just because I managed not to break my very oval shaped circle like everybody else did. Hey, Tegan, that is great. I came second in a timed circle cutting competition. A timed circle cutting competition. That's interesting. Papas99, God bless. God bless you too. Papas99, welcome on board. Emir O'Donnell says, hi, Emir O'Donnell. Welcome. It is great that you're with us today. And Paul Mendalowicz, last live stream you mentioned the stained glass repository. Is there an equivalent organization in the US? Great question, Paul. So basically I did a talk, it was a paper with Petri Anderson at an international conference a couple of weekends ago, or 2 or 3 weekends ago now, down at Canterbury Cathedral, and I chair the stained glass repository here in the UK, and it was interesting and surprising to discover that there aren't really stained glass repositories, I dare I say, anywhere else. I'm not sure. I can't say specifically whether there are or not, but my impression was certainly in Europe, in Belgium and in Germany. We're having a meeting in January, a Zoom meeting, and with Hugo from Quebec to talk about setting up or exploring the idea of setting up a repository in Belgium and in Germany and in Quebec. And I don't believe, and I could be wrong, and I'm very happy to be corrected in chat if you guys know better, that there isn't a stained glass repository in the States, but it's a great idea, isn't it? So, Paul Mendalowicz, if you feel like diving into that or talking with colleagues and friends and associates stateside, you can always join us on this international Zoom call, which is really spitballing ideas, and we'll talk about the experiences that we've had of running the repository here in the UK, with a view to perhaps setting up an equivalent or something similar, a similar type, or even just a close relative to the stained glass repository that we have in the UK. You know, let me know if you wanted to talk about it further, because we are having a group conversation in January about that, just to explore the possibilities. Sarah Art and Glass says, I'm going to give the star a go. Brilliant. You made it look so easy, but it's obviously not. Sarah, wonderful. Come on guys, let's do the star challenge. Sarah, it is brilliant that you're going to do it. Don't be shy. And don't, you know, it goes wrong all the time. It goes wrong with me. It goes wrong with everybody. I break glass in the wrong way all the time. It's fine. It's fine. It's more about trying to just find the control to just get as much of it done as you can, post it out there, and then try it again. You know, it's all a bit of fun, really. So yeah, come on, guys. Let's do the star challenge. David Jack Fenton says, related to the star challenge, is it possible to cut a circle out of glass without breaking the edges like a hole punch? Oh my goodness, what a great question, David. What a great question. Yes, it is. It is possible to cut a circle out of glass, and I'll make a video on that. There, I'll take up your challenge. Challenge accepted, David. I will put a video together in the next few days, cutting a hole out of a circular piece of glass. It can be done. I've done it before, and yeah, we'll do it again. And yes, I promise to post the broken pieces as well as the finished piece as well. I promise to post the bits that don't work as well as the bits that do work. So great challenge, David. Yeah, fantastic. I love that. I love the idea. I love the idea of something that we can all join in on. You know what I mean? Isn't it fun? Where we can all have a go. You know, doing a little challenge together, and we just put it out there and we share it with each other, and we, you know, that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. This is what the community is all about, really. So Jerry Z said, never enough space. Yeah, you're right, Jerry. Never enough space. You always expand into your available space, don't you? Let me just make sure this. I noticed in the live stream last week, my camera was going in and out of focus, or it was focusing on the wrong thing, so I have to keep making sure that it stays in focus. Bloody technology. Oops, I shouldn't be swearing. Technology, it's the bane of my life, especially on this live stream. It very often goes wrong, so hopefully it's all working tonight. Emir O'Donnell says hi. Yeah. Mazarine says nope, sorry. Yeah, Jerry, it is very thin, is akin to an epoxy. Okay, fair enough. An epoxy. So Larasan says, can you describe the repository? And I would like to join the Zoom meeting. Yeah. Well, can you email me? You'll find or message me on social media and tell me a little bit more about your background, because this is a kind of a it's quite a not serious. Well, that's not the right word, but kind of like a project that really is for people who are actively thinking about setting up a repository. So, Larissa, a repository basically is a storage facility for stained glass that would otherwise be lost if a church or a building of significance is bought or sold, and the new owners want to convert the building or knock down an area and there's stained glass in the way, and they would not necessarily want to keep it, so it would get destroyed or lost. The idea is that the repository will assess the stained glass, and if it has an historic or artistic value or is of particular significance, we will arrange to have it transported to the repository, which is a big storehouse for stained glass. Sometimes we have complete glazing schemes of east windows. Sometimes it's a single window. And we try and find new homes for it. The repository is basically run as a charity. So we don't sell the stained glass. We basically give it to good homes. We would encourage people who take possession of the stained glass to perhaps give this charity a donation to help us keep the lights on and keep everything running. But it's a charity, and we don't sell the stained glass. We find good homes for it. Usually it's in other churches or other public buildings, but we're always kind of looking to find ways of keeping the stained glass in circulation, in the sense that it's still being enjoyed by people. As we all know, stained glass is not being seen as much as it used to be because churches are not being populated as much. They're going into decline or being closed or becoming redundant. And there's some fantastic stained glass in a lot of these churches. I know that up in Scotland, there's perhaps up to 700 churches going to be made redundant in the next sort of few years or so. And that's a lot of churches with potentially a lot of very exciting stained glass in it. But that goes for Wales, that goes for Ireland and England as well. So the repository is there to try and rescue stained glass of significance and find new homes for it. So that was of great interest to Professor Joost Kahn in Belgium, an eminent professor of stained glass who has a fantastic collection, a personal collection of stained glass that he wants to create a repository for, a new home, a new building to hold all the glass. And that kind of idea is very close to a repository idea. In Germany, again, they're thinking about that as well. So that is what the Zoom meeting is about. So if you're interested, guys, and if you want to sort of think about it seriously, let me know on social media, and we can see about trying to get you guys involved as well. David says, wow, good luck with the hole cutting challenge, Jerry. Thanks, David. Yeah, I'll need it. It's not easy. It's really not easy. Yeah. There is a way to do it. I know there's a way to do it, but whether I'll manage to do it or not, you'll have to watch and find out. Yeah. Ruby Slippers, I want to see you cut the hole in a burglar costume. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thunderwood Underwoods. Oh, brilliant. Okay, guys, listen, it's fantastic that you're joining us today. Look, where are we now? It is 9 o'clock, so we've been going for about half an hour. So basically, let's just talk about what the theme of tonight's episode, the live stream, is glazing into stonework. So stonework, specifically here in the UK, if you're glazing stained glass windows into churches or public buildings, stately homes, anywhere that has sort of classic structures. Not in modern buildings. Yeah, modern buildings don't really, to the same extent, use lime mortars. Lime mortars are what we're talking about here, because that's the approved mortar that's used specifically for glazing into stonework here in the UK. Now, lime mortar is a very old form of mortar making. Nowadays, we use Portland cement, we use pre-made mixes, we use a variety of different cements that set in water, that set with water and become very hard. So Portland cement is used in modern building structures, and we're all familiar with the cement that you see around modern bricks. It's usually very hard, very strong, and it has a great sort of compression strength. So you can build tall buildings using hydraulic limes with Portland cement. Now, hydraulic lime, there's two different types of limes. There's hydraulic lime and hydrated lime. It's confusing because within the hydraulic lime and the hydrated lime categories, there's a multitude of variables and a multitude of different things that you can add to create different types of lime mortars. It's very fascinating. It's very interesting. I'm still trying to get my head around it, and by no means am I an expert in the field. By no means. I know a tiny little bit, but the tiny little bit I'm going to try and convey to you guys today. So, two types of lime. Basically, lime. What is lime? Well, lime is stone that is put into a kiln and heated up to 800 odd degrees centigrade, and that burns off the carbon. Basically, the stone begins to burn believe it or not. Yes, stone can burn. Well, obviously we know that volcanoes, you can have lava, which is molten rock. But if you just burn it before it actually melts into a lava, it just gets rid of the carbon in it, and it turns white essentially, and turns this kind of white stone. So basically you can get carbon stone or carbon rocks that are white, and you can grind them down. You can grind that limestone down to a powder, or you can have it as little kind of granular briquettes that look a little bit like sort of white dog food, little small pieces like this. And depending on how you mix it with water, you can get different results. Now, the important thing to remember is when you mix it with water, it boils the water, and I've seen it happen. There's a stonemason builder who has been for decades providing me with ready-made lime mortar and lime putty, and I went to his workshop and watched him putting these limestone fragments into a bucket and pouring water on top. And it's the most incredible thing. It starts to bubble and it starts to boil up because there's a chemical reaction between the limestone, which is hungry for carbon, and the water, and you get this bubbling kind of white mass that if you pour a little bit of water in, just enough to melt it down, you get what's called a lime putty. And that lime putty has the consistency of yogurt, or like double thick cream. It's quite gloopy and thick, and it's basically it's called lime putty. And you put that in a vat. Traditionally they would bury it in the ground and they'd cover it over for anything up to a year, and that it's called slaking the lime. Basically that allows the lime to mature and become really useful, and it's been used for centuries in the building world, especially with stonemasons, as a very, very good medium, which you can then add sands and aggregates to of different colors and different consistencies to create different types of mortars. So that's one type of mortar. That is called a hydrated lime, or a non-hydraulic lime. So that is a lime putty, and it's the type of thing that I use, and you'll see in the video that I'll show in a little bit. The lime mortar mix that I use is a pre-made mix. So we've had our lime putty and we've added local sand to that. And the wonderful thing is that if you have a lime putty base, you can take that anywhere in the country and use the local sand that you would grind down to a powder, and you can have different granular sizes of sand that you add to your lime putty mix to get the color right. And the color is important because you want the color of the lime mortar to match relatively closely to the color of the stone that you're glazing into. So you can add crushed stone, you can add various sands, you can add clays to it, you can add dirt, you can add various pozzolans to it, which are basically granular dusts of various types. Marble is another one, marble dust. There's lots of different ones you can add to create different characteristics of hydraulic lime. And that lime, that hydraulic lime, it goes off and goes hard with the addition of water. So it's a little bit like Portland cement, or modern Portland cement. If you add water to that, it goes rock hard. And hydraulic lime is used when you want to have a really strong mortar mix. So you want, maybe if you're building a tower, or if you're building a very tall wall with a lot of load bearing on it, you wouldn't use lime putty for that because it's too soft and it would crush. But hydraulic lime with pozzolans added to it is a brilliant lime mortar, and it actually works underwater as well. So if you're building a canal, or if you're building a bridge and the area goes underwater, or it's particularly damp, that particular type of lime mortar goes off with water. It goes rock hard. But the type of mortar that I use is slaked lime mortar. So it's a hydrated lime. I know it's complicated. It's been complicated for me, and I have to keep refreshing my memory on it. And I have actually been looking at some YouTube videos over the last couple of days or so just to refresh my memory, and I realize it's like a rabbit hole. When you go down the lime mortar rabbit hole, it's a deep rabbit hole. It's amazing, but it's a really lovely subject. And yeah, so we have our pre-made lime mortars already made up for us. And the great thing is it will last for years if you keep a lid on it and you keep a little bit of water on the top of it so that it doesn't carbonate. So basically what happens with lime mortar is it dries in the air rather than hydraulic lime, which dries in water. Hydrated lime dries with air and it exchanges carbon. It carbonates basically. So you've got to cover it with water so that the air doesn't get to it. And if you keep it away from the frost, it will basically last for years. And I've got traditional lime mortars that in the warm seasons, I bring out and I use, and then I cover it up and I put it away in a garage over the winter months. And it's such a beautiful traditional product, and I love working with it. Now, it's seasonal. You can't really use lime mortars all year round because they're very susceptible to frost damage. So there's a golden rule of about sort of minimum of 4 degrees centigrade. If it's below 4 degrees, you're going to get the water in the lime mortar freezing overnight, and that ruins the lime mortar. Basically, if the water within it freezes, it ruins the mortar and you've got to rake it out and do it again. So you have to sort of use your lime putties and your lime mortar mixes within the sort of warmer months of maybe March, no, even later than that, April to October, when the temperature is sort of 10 degrees and above. When it's the winter months, you can't really use lime mortar because it would freeze. So it's a fascinating thing to work with. So let me just play this video for you now, guys. And if you have any questions about it afterwards, do let me know in the chat. Let me just get onto this video, and yeah, we'll talk again in a minute once I play this video for you. In today's video, we're going to look at glazing into stonework. The traditional way to glaze into stonework here in the UK is using lime mortars. That's a slaked lime. So the lime is made using original limestone that's ground down to small, either in powder form or in small nuggets, and water is added to it gradually to create a slake lime putty. That slaked lime putty is very much like yogurt, and it's left for up to a year just to cure and mature before you then add a local sand to it. Sometimes it's a river washed sand. It might be different grades of sand, different granular thicknesses of the stones within the sand itself to make up your local mortar mix that suits the stonework of the building that you're working on. So today I'm going to show you a little project where I was restoring and conserving a William Morris window that was vandalized in a local church, and we put it back in using traditional lime mortars. Now, we buy our traditional lime mortars pre-mixed, so what you'll see in the video is that we are simply taking it out of a container and mixing it together, not adding any more water to it, not adding any cements or any other additives to the whole thing, just simply working the slaked lime putty into a consistency with the sand to develop our mortar mix, and then we're applying it to the stonework in the traditional way. Why do we use traditional lime mortar? Well, it's very breathable and it's porous. It allows the moisture to move in and out from the stonework. It allows for a certain amount of movement of the stonework as well. So it's actually a very forgiving type of mortar. And if you see sometimes here in the UK buildings that are centuries old and they have begun to sag and collapse slightly, the lime mortar mix works with the movement in the building, and so it doesn't tend to crack over a longer period of time compared to modern cements that are used with Portland cement, for example, which is a very brittle, high strength cement, but it does crack if there's any movement in the stonework or any movement in the building. Traditional slaked lime putties made with local sand tend to be much more durable. And that's what we're using today. So enjoy the video.